Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pat.
Sir, can I get your full name, please?
Gabriel Nicholson.
Mr. Nicholson, I'm seeing you this morning because you have a warrant out of South Tucson for a shoplift from October 12th of last year. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I also see that you're being held already on a $5,000 bond for a felony matter. And so they must have found this warrant. So I'm going to hold you just on a $250 cash bond on the South Tucson matter. And I'm going to appoint an attorney for you there. Yes.
I was just released on pre-trials for Monday. Is there any way that I can we can just waive the bond and I can just go out and I got other court hearings that I have to go to. I promise you I will be there.
So on your felony, they said that you can be released on Monday to pre-trial.
So I can go out there and take
That's fine. That's fine. All right. You just got to make sure that you get to South Tucson in addition to your other stuff. Okay. All right. So I'm going to release you on your promise to appear in court. And that hearing in South Tucson is going to be March 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning. You will get paperwork with that information on it. Okay. You're welcome. You're excused.
All right. Thank you.
Your Honor, Bagley Julie is still at the hospital.
Okay.
And Lino Lease refused.
Okay.
And if we could continue Hallmark Daniel, because there's currently a shakedown going on in his pod.
Okay.
So they're not bringing anyone down from that pod.
Okay.
And if we could see Holton Giovanna first.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Judge, Miss Bagley, I believe she's been continued for a couple days now. I think I was here on Tuesday and she was still being continued at that point.
Yeah, she's been continued for a long time because she's been in the hospital.
We can't really waive her presence since her lack of appearance isn't voluntary, Twyla.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, I'll just continue her.
And you guys said it was Lino and Hallmark too?
Oh, yeah, Lino and Hallmark.
Okay. What's your name?
Hi, can I get your full name? Ma'am, can I get your full name? Are you? Me? Yes, are you? No, are you Giovanna Holton?
No.
I'm not talking to you, ma'am. Ma'am at the jail. Are you Giovanna Holton?
Miss Holton, can you give the judge your full name, please?
Ma'am, can you tell me your name? Are you Giovanna Holton? All right, I'm gonna continue her to tonight. Thank you, ma'am. You'll see the judge tonight.
Holton, come on. Get up. Let's stand up.
Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Darren Joseph Benalis.
Great. Mr. Benalis, I am seeing you this morning on a charge of domestic violence, disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Give me just a moment to look over your paperwork here. So, sir, pretrial services was unable to get in contact with the alleged victim, your girlfriend, so I don't know what her position is. But do you have somewhere else that you can go if I were to release you, other than your residence with her? Could you find somewhere else to go? All right, so I'm going to order that you be released on your promise to appear in court. I'm ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'm going to order that you have no contact of any kind with Miss Sheeks. If you were to return to your residence and she is still there, you can't be there. As long as she's residing there, you can't be there. You've got to find somewhere else to go. I will put in my order that you can return one time with a law enforcement escort to collect your personal belongings. So if you go home and she's there, go to the police station with my court order and have them go with you to get your things. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir. And then you need to be in Pima County Justice Court for your hearing on March 11th at 10:30 in the morning, or a warrant can issue for your arrest. You will get
Your
paperwork.
Honor,
Yes.
I'm gonna have a really hard time doing that because I'm disabled. I walk with a cane, and so I spend 22 hours a day in my chair.
Well,
I don't go anywhere. I don't do things.
sir, the other option is that I can hold you on a bond and you can stay at the jail. You can't reside with her right now. So you need to figure out a new place to go if she's still at your residence.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're gonna get paperwork with all of that information on it. Make sure you get to your hearing so that a warrant doesn't issue for your arrest. You're excused. Can somebody at the jail tell me, why are we continuing Lino again?
I
He refused, Your Honor.
He refused?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Zachary Allen Cash.
All right, Mr. Cash, I am seeing you this morning on a few different matters. Looks like you've got warrants out of Tucson City Court and then Marana. and Oro Valley.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we'll start with the Marana matters. These are for drug paraphernalia and shoplifting from December 22nd of 2022 and drug paraphernalia from May 24th of 2023. On those Marana matters, I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 cash bond. I'm going to appoint an attorney for you in Marana. That will be Janet Altschuler. And you will have a hearing there on Monday at noon. If you are still in custody, that will be by video. If you were to post your bond, you would need to get to that hearing or a warrant can issue for your arrest. On this Oro Valley warrant, this is for a theft charge, theft and drug paraphernalia. I don't see the date, but it's 2024. Oh, it looks like December 19th of 2024. On that matter, I'm also going to hold you on a $250 cash bond and appoint Richard Glenn to represent you in Oro Valley. Your hearing there will be on the 5th, which is Wednesday, I believe, at 10:30. And then on your city court matters, these are trespass and drug paraphernalia from March 15th of 2024 and drug paraphernalia criminal trespass from March 23rd of 2024. And I'll hold you on another $250 cash bond on those matters. Appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. Your hearing for city court will be on March 11th at 1:45. If you were to be out of custody, you would need to get to city court on April 3rd at 2:00 in the afternoon. All right, you're going to get paperwork with all of that information on it, sir. Do you understand all of that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're excused.
And what?
That's all. You're excused.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I get your full name?
Samara Ortega.
Ms. Ortega, I am seeing you this morning on charges of domestic violence assault, disorderly conduct, and preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So pretrial services did speak with the alleged victim, Thomas. He does not object to your release. He said that he's not going to remain at your shared residence, and he does not want to have further contact. So I'm going to order, ma'am, that you be released on your promise to appear in court. I'm ordering that you have no contact of any kind at this time with Thomas. I'm ordering that you do not go to his residence or workplace or contact him on the phone or any other way, and no further acts of domestic violence. You're going to need to be in Pima County Justice Court on March 11th at 10:30 in the morning, or a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Skolko Mason is currently being uncooperative and he's in a restraint board. If we could continue him to tonight too.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Marcel?
Hi, sir. Can you give your full name?
Yes, Angel Carlos Barcelo.
Marcelo, I am seeing you this morning because you have a very old arrest out of Tucson City Court. This is for a 2016 unruly gathering and being under 21 with alcohol. So it looks like you were last in court on this matter in 2021. Where are you living currently, sir?
I do not reside. I'm like staying with friends,
Okay.
like, with the friends, yes.
If I release you, are you going to get to court?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you a court date in April. You've got to get to this and you got to go take care of this.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. I'm going to
Yes.
order that you be released on your promise to appear in court, and your hearing in city court is going to be April 8th at 9:00 in the morning. Right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
You will get paperwork with that information on it. Just make sure you get to that hearing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're excused.
Axiola. SDVS.
Hi, ma'am. Can I get your full name?
Alejandra Esquivias.
Ms. Esquivias, I'm seeing you this morning because you have a warrant out of Tucson City Court for domestic violence charges from 2021. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You're also being held, ma'am, on a felony warrant. I'm not seeing you on that today. You're going to be seen in Superior Court separately, I would guess sometime in the next week or so. As to this charge, I'm going to order that you be released, but you're not going to be released because you're being held on that other charge. I'll appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. If you are still in custody, you're going to have what's called a non-transport review on April 18th at 9:00 in the morning. If you do end up out of custody by that date, you've got to get to that hearing in April, or another warrant's going to issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, good.
All right, you're excused.
Thank you.
Axiola.
Hi, ma'am. Can I get your full name?
Eloisa Gafiola.
Ms. Gastiola, I'm seeing you this morning because you have a few warrants out of Tucson City Court that are quite old. One's from 2013, 2016, and 2017. And I know you've been, last time you were in court on these matters, or at least in jail on these matters, was 2021. And it looks like you had some contact with the court back in 2021. You had at least told them that you were sick and couldn't go to court. So what's going on with you right now? Do you have a stable residence?
No, I was at the moment just evicted, and I was transporting my property to a storage when I got stopped.
Ah, okay. So do you know where you're gonna go if you get released?
Yes, I'm gonna go to 5600 East Country Club Road, space number 125.
Okay. Is that's a friend's place or something?
It's father of my children.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get that address from you again.
56
Uh-huh.
5600
Mhm.
South Country Club Road, Tucson, Arizona 85706, space number 125.
Okay. All right, so ma'am, if I release you, are you gonna get to this court date so you can take care of
Yes.
these matters? All right.
Yes, I will.
All right, I'm gonna order that you be released on your promise to appear in court. And that hearing is not gonna be for about a month and a half. It's April 14th at 9:00 in the morning. You need to get to that hearing so that another warrant doesn't issue for your arrest. You will get paperwork with that information on it, okay? Just make sure you get to that hearing and take care of these.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Good luck to you, ma'am. You're excused.
Thank you.
Hey, sir, can I get your full name, please?
Gutierrez?
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm seeing you this morning on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and then 3 other counts of disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I am going to enter not guilty pleas for you and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence and warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So, Mr. Gutierrez, I saw that you're also on felony probation right now. There is not currently a probation hold, but I would anticipate that they're gonna put one on you. In the meantime, I'm going to order that you be held on a $500 cash bond on these matters. Order that if you were to post that bond, that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. I'm ordering that you have no contact of any kind with Ariana Martinez and that you do not go within 500 feet of her residence. You understand those orders?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I'm appointing the city public defender's office to represent you. Your hearing in city court will be on March 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. If you're in custody, that'll be a video hearing. If you're out of custody, you need to make sure that you get to that hearing or a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're excused.
Thank you. That's hard though. Right now, I don't just feel.
Hi, can I get your full name, please?
My name is Leonardo Jose Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, I am seeing you this morning on charges of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency, and another count of disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas for you at this time and advise you that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So, sir, I am going to order that you be released on your promise to appear in court. I'm ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence, and I'm ordering that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victims, who I understand one of them is your roommate. Pretrial services did not speak with him, so I don't know if he plans on staying at the residence. But if he's at the residence, then you need to go somewhere else. Do you understand that? And it looks like your mother did speak with pretrial and said that you could use her house if you need to, okay? All right. You need to be in Tucson City Court on April 7th at 9 o'clock in the morning, or a warrant can issue for your arrest. You will get paperwork with that information on it. You understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're excused.
Thank you so much.
Hi, sir, can I get your full name? Mr. North, I am seeing you this morning on charges of domestic violence, assault, and disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas for you at this time in order and let you know that you're ordered to appear at all of your hearings. If you miss your hearings, they can go forward in your absence. Warrants can issue for your arrest. And if you're convicted at a trial and you can't be sentenced within 90 days of the conviction, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. So, sir, I know you were just here yesterday morning on other domestic violence charges involving the same alleged victim. I'm going to consolidate the two cases. I'm going to vacate that hearing date that they gave you of April 1st. I'm going to order that you be held on a $1,500 cash or secured bond, order that you commit no further acts of domestic violence, that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, that you not go to her residence. And so I will put in my order that you could return one time with a law enforcement escort to collect your personal belongings. So if you posted that bond, you would need to take my order to the nearest police station to have them go with you to get your things. I'm appointing the city public defender's office to represent you. And if you're still in custody, you'll be seen by video on March 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon. If you post the bond, you would need to get to city court on that date or a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Yeah, I won't be able to solve the speaker.
Yes, and then you'll see Judge Million on the 12th by video.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're excused. Sir, can I get your full name?
Your Honor, this is our Spanish speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Muy buenos días, señor. Su nombre entero, por favor.
Buenos días, Jesús Adrián Carrillo.
Good morning, Jesús Adrián Carrillo.
Mr. Carrillo, I'm seeing you this morning because you have a warrant out of Superior Court.
Señor Carrillo, lo estoy viendo hoy porque usted tiene una orden de arresto del Tribunal del Superior del Condado de Pima.
These are for charges from October 31st of 2024 that involve unlawful use of means of transportation, narcotic drug possession, and drug paraphernalia possession.
Bueno, estos cargos tienen que ver con la fecha del 31 de octubre del año 2024 y se tratan de uso ilícito de algún vehículo para transportar, posesión de narcóticos y también armanículos de droga.
You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Señor, tiene el derecho de guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga se puede usar y será usado en su contra.
You do have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing.
Señor, tiene derecho a un abogado. Voy a nombrar la oficina de los defensores para representarlo, y para hoy hay un abogado al lado de usted que está aquí para representarlo en la audiencia de hoy.
So the state is recommending a $1,500 bond. That was what I suggested on the warrant.
Bueno, la fiscalía está recomendando una fianza de $1,500, lo cual fue lo que se sugirió que fue algo sugerido en la orden de arresto en sí.
I do see that this was a refile situation where he was sent a summons and he failed to appear.
Veo que esto fue un citatorio que se reentabló porque le mandaron un citatorio y él no compareció.
But I do also note that There are 3 prior felonies, and 2 of them involve similar conduct.
Pero también estoy viendo que habían 3 delitos mayores anteriores y 2 de ellos tienen que ver con la misma conducta, mismo comportamiento.
I'll hear from defense on your position.
Bueno, la defensa puede hablar sobre su posición en cuanto a la condición de libertad.
Judge, we're asking for another opportunity for Mr. Carrillo to be on pretrial services.
Su señoría, estamos pidiendo que usted le dé al señor Carrillo otra oportunidad para que se le otorgue libertad condicional bajo la supervisión de servicios previos a juicio.
As you pointed out, the case was refiled and these charges were identified by pretrial services as nonviolent.
Su señoría, como usted acaba de señalar, este caso fue un caso retramitado y servicios previos a juicio ya ha identificado estos cargos como cargos no violentos.
Sir, what's your current address?
Señor, su dirección actual es
5556. Y
¿Perdón?
26 Street, apartamento 11.
550 East 26th Street, apartment 11. Apartamento 11, ¿verdad?
Sí.
556.
87 85711.
Sorry, 5711.
Got it. Thank you. Sir, if I were to release you to pretrial services, will you be in contact with them and will you get to your hearing next week?
Señor, si yo lo dejo en libertad bajo la supervisión de servicios previos a juicio, usted se va a comunicar con ellos y usted va a llegar, va a comparecer a su próxima audiencia la semana que entra.
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. I am going to order that you be released to pretrial services supervision. I'm ordering that you participate in monitoring or treatment as directed by them and that you possess no alcohol or illegal drugs.
Muy bien, estoy ordenando que lo dejen en libertad bajo la supervisión de servicios previos a juicio y estoy ordenando que usted participe en cualquier tratamiento o monitoreo que ellos recomiendan. También estoy ordenando que usted no esté en posesión ni tampoco use bebida alcohólica ni tampoco drogas ilícitas.
You need to be in Pima County Superior Court on March 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That is this coming Friday.
Muy bien, señor. Y su próxima audiencia en el Tribunal del Condado de Pima, el Tribunal Superior, es el 7 de marzo a la 1:30 de la tarde. Y esa fecha es el viernes que viene.
So, sir, please make sure that you're in touch with pretrial and that you get to that hearing so that another warrant doesn't issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Muy bien, señor. Por favor, asegúrese que usted esté en contacto pronto con servicios a juicio y que usted comparezca para esa audiencia para que no se emita otra orden de arresto. ¿Entiende, señor?
Sí, señor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You are excused.
Gracias, señor. Se puede retirar.
Thank you to
Your
the,
Honor, this is the interpreter. I think that this was the last Spanish. If we could verify and maybe I could get off.
yep, I think you're good to go. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Nathaniel Michael Atkins.
Mr. Adkins, I am seeing you because you have a felony warrant for your arrest for some charges. It looks like there are 3 different alleged dates. November 4th of 2024, there are charges of armed robbery, theft of means of transportation, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. October 6th of 2024, 2 charges of armed robbery and two aggravated robbery. And then January 24th of 2025, armed robbery and aggravated robbery. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. I'll also note that there is a Department of Corrections hold and some prior criminal history convictions involving similar allegations. The bond amount on the warrant is $100,000. That's what the state is asking for. Did you want to be heard on that, Ms. Haggerty?
Yes, Judge, we're asking that you consider a lower bond for Mr. Atkins. He does have the DOC hold, so he's not going to be getting out even if he were to post a bond. He's not been previously arrested on these matters, and he's very young.
I am going to order the $100,000 bond. It'll be cash or secured. No contact with any victims. Don't return to any incident locations. No firearms or weapons. And you will have a preliminary hearing date of March 11th at 1:30. All right, sir, you should be hearing from your attorney from the public defender's office soon. You're excused.
It is.
Hi, sir, can I get your full name?
Or Michael Canron.
Mr. Canright, I am seeing you this morning on a new felony charge of organized retail theft, and then I'm also seeing you on several warrants that you have out of Tucson City Court. We'll deal with those next. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. State is recommending a $5,000 bond with pretrial services. He's maxed out on the scales. I'll hear from defense.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Canright is released to pretrial services. If you're not inclined, we're asking for a $2,000 bond. Pretrial services identified these charges as nonviolent, and he has ties to Tucson.
I'm going to order a $5,000 bond. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if that bond is posted, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial, and do not return to any incident location. Preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 11th, but sir, that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date. So if you do post your bond, you need to make sure that you are in contact with pretrial services so that you know when to get to court. All right, and then the city court warrants are for criminal trespass from November 13th of 2024, contempt of court from November 25th of 2024, criminal trespass from January 27th of 2025, and drug paraphernalia from February 14th of 2025. On those matters, I'm going to order that you be held on a $250 cash or secured bond. Again, order no alcohol or illegal drugs and that you don't return to any incident location. I will appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. If you are still in custody, you'll be seen by video on March 11th. If you are out of custody, you need to get to city court on April 7th at 9 o'clock, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand all of that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. Hi, sir, can I get your full name?
Emilio, Michael Garcia.
Mr. Castillo, I'm seeing you this morning on 2 new felony cases. One is for criminal damage and 3 counts of endangerment. It looks like those are allegations from, yes, from March 1st. And then promoting prison contraband as well. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. So sir, it looks like based on your age and your lack of criminal history, the state is okay with you being released to pretrial services supervision. So that's what I'm going to order. You need to make sure that you are in contact with pretrial when you get out. You're going to get their information in writing. All right, I'm ordering that you participate in any monitoring or treatment as directed by them, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you do not drive without a valid driver's license. Do you understand all of those orders?
Yeah.
All right, and then we're going to give you a preliminary hearing date of March 21st, but sir, that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date, so it's going to be very important that you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court so that a warrant doesn't issue for your arrest. Do you understand all of that?
Yeah.
All right, sir, you're excused.
No other questions, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am, can I get your full name?
Oh, Davis.
Ms. Davis, I'm seeing you this morning on charges of dangerous drug possession, 2 counts of disorderly conduct with a weapon, and a charge of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. The state is recommending a $10,000 bond with pretrial services. I think just given the allegations here, I do see a lack of criminal history or at least felony history. I'll hear from defense.
Judge, we're asking that Ms. Davis is released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a $1,500 bond. She is fully employed. Pretrial services identified her as a level 1 supervision needs. She's a lifelong resident of Tucson and no felony history at 41.
Where's the employment?
Bass and Associates. Where's it? Bass and Associates.
Bass and Associates, Judge. And how long have you been
law firm? 6 months, 5, 6 months.
She's been working with them for 6 months, Judge.
All right. And are you, pretrial services says that you're homeless. I know you were staying at a hotel. Do you have a residence to go to?
Yes.
Where would you go?
To my parents' house.
They live.
Or a friend's house.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna order that you be released to pretrial services supervision, but you cannot return to the incident location. You can't go back to that Red Roof Inn, okay?
Okay, did they tell you what they did with my card? Oh, do I ask you?
Judge, would you consider including a one-time return so that she can get her belongings?
Yes, will do. So are they, it's inside, she needs to get inside the room still? or just pick up her car?
Do you need? Yeah, so there should be, maybe they took it out, but
Okay.
a one-time return to get her car and belongings.
Sure. So I'm going to put in my order, ma'am, that you can return one time with a police escort. So you'll take my order to the nearest police station, to that, the police station that's closest to the Red Roof Inn, and they will go with you to get your things. Okay. All right. I'm going to make some other orders. I'm ordering that you participate in any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you possess no firearms or weapons. Do you understand all of those orders?
Yes.
Right, and we're gonna set a preliminary hearing date for March 21st. But ma'am, that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You're gonna get a hearing at a later date. So you need to make sure you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney, so that you know when to get to court, so that a warrant doesn't issue for your arrest, okay? All right, you're excused.
Any questions? So, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
Domino's.
Hey, can I get your full name?
Dale Jordan Dobbins.
Ms. Dobbins, I'm seeing you this morning on several different matters. You have new felony charges of possession of a defaced weapon and possession of drug paraphernalia. And then you've got some warrants that we will deal with next. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. So I see that you are released currently on other felony charges. And so the state could be asking for a no bond hold. They would be entitled to that, but instead they're asking for a $5,000 bond with pretrial services. Ms. Haggerty, did you want to be heard on that?
If we could get one, Judge, if we can get 1 second.
Sure.
Really quick. Judge, we're asking that she's released to pretrial services. If you're not inclined, we're asking for a $1,000 bond. If you look over in the felony history, she did get her previous warrant quashed. So she wasn't aware of this warrant outstanding. She would have taken care of it on Tuesday if she knew about it. So we're pretrial services identified these as nonviolent. And she's a lifelong resident of Tucson. And she's supposed to start a job.
Well, I just think given the failures to appear, I've got lots of warrants. It's not just this one. So I'm gonna order a $2,500 bond on this matter. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if posted. Monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial, no firearms or weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 11th. But ma'am, that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date. So if you do post your bond, you need to make sure you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court, so that a warrant doesn't issue for your arrest. All right. Next up, we have a Maricopa County warrant for drug possession from 2024. Does not list a bond amount. I'm just going to order a $100 cash bond on that. And then we'll set a review hearing for March 31st at 9 o'clock in the morning. So ma'am, if you stay in custody on your local matters, you're just going to have review hearings every 30 days on that Maricopa County matter to see what's happening here. If you were to post your bonds, you're going to need to get in touch with Maricopa County to set up a hearing so that another warrant doesn't issue for your arrest.
Okay.
All right. And then there are 3 warrants out of justice court. These are for shoplifting from August 10th of 2023, shoplifting from January 15th of 2024, shoplifting criminal trespass from May 8th of 2024. And all of those also have failure to appear charges on them as well. So I'm going to order. We'll do $100 cash bonds on each of those matters. I will appoint Peter Gutierrez to represent you in justice court, and you will have a hearing there if you are still in custody on Monday. That is March 3rd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, if you post your bonds, you need to get to that hearing or warrants will issue for your arrest. You understand all of that, ma'am?
Yeah.
All right, you're excused.
Judge, I believe there's a city court warrant to take care of.
It's not in front of me. Nope.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Oh, Judge, there, over here on the court side over here, they're saying there is a city court matter.
Yeah, we don't have it. So the clerk doesn't have it from city court. So well, I guess we'll just continue that to tonight. So they can get that file.
Oh. Okay, thank you, Judge. Thank you. $3,500 for the felony and then 100 for each of the justice.
Hi, sir. Give me just a moment, please. Okay, sir, can I get your full name, please?
Eastep.
Mr. Eastep, I'm seeing you this morning on charges of burglary in the 3rd degree and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. It looks like state is recommending a $2,500 bond with pretrial services given the criminal history involving similar conduct. I'll hear from defense.
That Mr. Eastep is released to pretrial services. He is disabled. Pretrial services identified these as nonviolent felonies, and he's lived in Arizona for 24 years.
Court.
And he tells me he never misses court.
COPD and a tumor on my right lung.
Judge, he has COPD and a tumor on his right lung.
Sir, do you have a phone?
Yep, I do.
You do? So you can be in touch with pretrial services if I release you?
Yep.
Right. And we do have something called the Pima County Transition Center. Unfortunately, they are not open on the weekend, but it's a trailer that's right outside of the jail. If you wanted to come back on Monday, they can help you out, get some resources for housing, and, you know, if you need any medical referrals or anything like that, they can help you with those kinds of things, okay? All right, so I'm going to order that you be released to pretrial services supervision. I'm ordering monitoring or treatment as directed by them, and no alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't go back to that incident location. Preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 21st, but sir, that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date. So you need to make sure you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court. You understand?
My tenant stuff, the sheriff said I could call them and then go pick up my stuff. Is that correct?
I will put in my order that you could return to that location if you need to with a police escort to get your personal belongings. But yeah, all right. All right, you're welcome.
Judge, so there is the misdemeanor as well as that a part of the, is that going to be on the March 22nd, 21st date as well, or is that separate?
The drug paraphernalia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the interim. So that should be with the felony.
Okay, thank you. Oh, no, this is just for your information. So you have pretrial services phone number and your attorney's phone.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks. I still can't see it.
Okay. We're ready, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Yes, Everett Bernard Evans.
Mr. Evans, I'm seeing you this morning on charges. Like these are charges from May 14th of 2022 involving unlawful discharge of a firearm within city limits, disorderly conduct with a weapon, that's a domestic violence offense, and being a prohibited possessor. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing.
Your Honor, those charges. I'm on probation for those charges. Those charges right there, I'm on probation. They must have did, I don't know what the mistake they made, but I had a lawyer, a judge, it's been a long time, and they gave me 3 years probation on those charges right there.
So, Mr. Goodman, maybe you can help us out here. So I was trying to figure out how this happened too, because these are 2022 charges and he is currently on probation for a 2022. It looks like the same charges, but they've got a different, just hold on, sir. That's okay. There's a date I see on the pretrial services of October 7th of 2022, and the date on this interim is May 14th of 2022. Do you have any clarity, Mr. Goodman, on what's going on here?
I mean, I would full file. Let me see if there's any additional file that would pull up under the LEA number.
I'll look at the GAVE too.
Well, what I went by was the stamp that says, you know, the offense date was listed as yesterday, you know, the red stamp on the interim. But I see what you're saying now. I'm just searching.
I think that's just the arrest date.
No, they have an offense date and an arrest date on there. Let's see. 2205140023.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, in light of that, Judge, I would say release them.
Okay.
And if this ends up being a situation where it maybe was part of the incident that was broken off, you know how sometimes charges are separated, but still technically part of the same incident, but I'm sure it'll get hashed out. So I would be okay with his, release to pretrial, given that he's on probation.
Okay.
May I say something, Your Honor? When I got arrested, I went to the hospital first, and then they didn't book me right then. They didn't book me that day. Later, so that's probably why.
Okay.
But I went through the whole process, and
Okay. All right. I'm gonna release you to pretrial services at this time, so that this can all get sorted out. All right. I'm just ordering that, instead of pretrial services, actually, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear in court, and I'm just going to order that you comply with probation, and contact your probation officer just to let them know that this happened, on Monday. Okay. And also get in touch with your attorney. You have an attorney at the public defender's office? All right. So make sure that you get in touch with her also so that she can help sort this out. All right. Then we'll set a preliminary hearing date for March 21st. That hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date, but just make sure you're in touch with everybody so that you know if you need to get to court. Okay. All right, sir. You're excused.
Barney? Leeson?
Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
James Edward Gleason III.
Right. Mr. Gleason, I'm seeing you on some charges of drug possession and paraphernalia, but the state has moved to dismiss those charges without prejudice. So I'm going to go ahead and make that the order. They could bring the charges back at some point if they wanted to, but for now, those are going to be dismissed and you'll be released. Okay?
Thank you. Thank
Great.
you.
You're welcome. You're excused.
Thank you.
Do you
And I did let my office know to look into that one case, Judge.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What you want, son? Oh, it's over there. Thanks.
This is Tom. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Hi there, Your Honor. My name is Taylor Gorney.
Mr. Gorney, I am seeing you this morning on a new felony charge of promoting prison contraband. And then, hold on. And then a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. State is recommending a $5,000 bond with pretrial services supervision. Given the nature of the offense, I do see a lack of prior felony history.
May I say something?
The attorney's going to talk for you.
And that's exactly right, Judge. he fought with police, he fought with the COs, and he hid a knife in his, where it was.
All right. Ms. Haggerty?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Gordy's released to pretrial services. Pretrial services identified him as the level 1 supervision needs, and that these are nonviolent charges. He is fully employed, and as you pointed out, he has no felony history. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services.
And I'll just note too, Mr. Goodman, I don't think you had access to this, but the misdemeanor citation states that he was very intoxicated and was yelling at people, but that he was basically threatening to kill himself with the knife. It does also say that when people tried to stop him, that he threatened them. So I'm gonna, so are you living here in Tucson, or you live in Iowa?
I just moved here on Sunday. Here on Charlotte saying.
Okay. So, is that the Presidio Road address that you're living at in Tucson?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I work for Siemens Healthcare, so it's a multi-applications engineering company, and I travel as a nuclear medicine technologist. So I work with radioactive pharmaceuticals in healthcare.
Okay. Sounds like you need to stay far, far away from alcohol. So don't say anything. All right. I'm going to order that you be released to pretrial services supervision. I'm ordering that you participate in any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that you possess no firearms or weapons. Do you understand all of those orders?
Yes.
All right. We're going to set a preliminary hearing date for March 21st, but that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You will get a hearing at a later date. So it's going to be really important that you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court so that a warrant doesn't issue for your arrest. So that's as to the felony. As to this misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge, I'm going to order that you be released on your promise to appear in court. I am ordering again on that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and do not go back to the incident location. You can't go back to IBTs. Do you understand that? So I will put that you can return one time with a law enforcement escort. So you would go to the nearest police station to 4th Avenue and ask them to go with you to get your things, okay? And then you're going to need to be in Tucson City Court. This date is going to happen. That hearing will be on April 1st at 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork with all of that information on it. You've got to get to this hearing in a month in City Court, and then you got to stay in touch with pretrial and with your attorney on the felony so you know when to get to court there, okay? All right, you're welcome, you're excused. Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Brian Hubba.
Mr. Grijalva, I am seeing you this morning on charges of domestic violence, aggravated assault for impeding the airway, and aggravated assault with substantial disfigurement. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. So, sir, because you were on release for a felony matter at the time that you are charged with new felony charges, you're going to be held at this time without bond, but you will have what's called a no bond hearing. in Superior Court next week on March 6th at 2:30 in the afternoon. And you should be hearing from your attorney before that hearing. I am also ordering that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, victim, Ms. Chavez. Do not go to her residence. Ordering no further acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. We'll set a preliminary hearing date for March 11th at 1:30. But again, you'll have that hearing regarding your bond next week in Superior Court. You understand all of that, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
Judge, I'm sorry, I missed the date of the no bond hearing.
It's March 6th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brittany?
Hi, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Wait, what? Sorry, Your Honor. I went out of order. So
No worries.
that's
Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Swearing your name is also heard.
Mr. Johnson, I'm seeing you this morning on a few different matters. You have new felony charge of shoplifting, and then you've got a couple of warrants out of justice court. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. The state is recommending a $2,500 bond with pretrial services. There's no felony, current felony convictions, but there are misdemeanor charges involving the same conduct. I'll hear from defense.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Johnson's released to pretrial services. Pretrial services identified this as a nonviolent felony. His prior misdemeanors are nonviolent, and as you pointed out, there's no felony history.
I'm going to order a $1,500 bond. It'll be cashed or secured, released to pretrial services if posted, monitoring or treatment is directed. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not return to any incident location. And preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 11th. But sir, that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date. So if you post your bond, you need to make sure that you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court. All right. And then 2 warrants out of justice court. Those are for shoplifting. One from December 17th and one from December 23rd of 2024. On those, I will order $100 cash bonds. Appoint Caitlin Waters to represent you in justice court. Don't go to any of those incident locations, and you're going to be seen on Monday, March 3rd at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in justice. All right, sir. So if you post your bond, you need to make sure you get to that hearing on Monday. Okay. Hi, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Brittany, Lisbeth Martinez.
Ms. Martinez, I am seeing you this morning on a charge of domestic violence trespassing. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. So, given your lack of prior history, the state is recommending that you be released to pretrial services. So that's what I'm going to order. So you're gonna need to get in touch with pretrial when you get out, monitoring or treatment as directed by them. I'm gonna order, ma'am, that you have no contact of any kind with the alleged victim, Christopher. Don't go back to his residence or contact him on the phone or any other way. Do you understand that? All right, and then preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 21st, but that hearing is very likely not gonna happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date, so make sure you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court. You understand? All right, you're excused.
Getting out. Getting out.
Johnson. Neighbors.
What's your full name?
Sandra Neighbors.
Ms. Neighbors, I'm seeing you this morning because you have a warrant out of Superior Court for dangerous drug, narcotic drug, and drug paraphernalia possession. Those are allegations from May 13th of 2024. I know that you were arrested on those charges and released, and then I think they dismissed them and then brought them back. So you may not have been aware that they ever filed those charges. The state is okay with you being released to pretrial services, so that's what I'm going to order. You need to make sure that you're in touch with pretrial. I'm ordering monitoring or treatment as directed by them and no alcohol or illegal drugs. And then you need to get to Superior Court this Friday. That's March 7th. At 1:30 in the afternoon, for your arraignment on that matter, all right? If you're not present at that hearing, you're gonna end up with another warrant and then you probably won't get released. So you'll get
Came back. Yeah, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, I know, it's just the process sometimes.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
And is the public defender appointed?
Yes, thank you.
Nickel.
Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Nickel.
Mr. Nichols, I'm seeing you this morning on 3 new felony cases from different dates. So let's see, the first one. Yep. So the first one is a charge of aggravated assault for impeding the airway from April 21st of 2024. And then there is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and misconduct involving weapons from September 25th of 2024. And then kidnapping, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument, and misconduct involving weapons from February 11th of this year. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. There's also a Department of Corrections hold, so you're going to be in custody. And so we're going to set a bond. The state is recommending $100,000 bonds on 2 of the cases and a $50,000 bond on the April 2024 case. I'll hear from defense.
There is the DOC hold. It's not expected to expire until next May. So we're asking for a $10,000 bond for Mr. Nichols for time credit, given the DOC hold is not set to expire for another year.
I'm going to order $50,000 bonds on each of the 3 cases. Those will be separate cash or secured bonds released pretrial if posted, monitoring, or treatment as directed by pretrial. No acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no contact of any kind with Ms. Nichols. So, sir, that starts today. You can't call her on the phone or contact her in any other way. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 11th. That hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date, but you'll be in touch with your attorney before then. All right, sir, that's all. You're excused.
So,
Parente.
Hey, sir, can I get your full name?
Joseph Parenti.
Mr. Prenti, I'm seeing you this morning on a charge of criminal trespass. In the first degree, it's domestic violence offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. State is recommending a $10,000 bond with pretrial services. Given the allegations, and it looks like there is a prior misdemeanor domestic violence charge as well. I'll hear from defense.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Parenti's released to pretrial services. Pretrial services identified this as a nonviolent felony, and it also identified him as a level 1 lowest supervision needs. Additionally, he does not live with the victim, and the victim in this case does not object to his release. So we're asking that he's released to pretrial services. And he's fully employed.
I know pretrial might categorize it as nonviolent, but he basically broke that door down, Judge. So I would disagree with that categorization.
I'm going to order a $1,500 bond. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial services if posted, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. No acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact of any kind with Miss Mendez. Do not go to her residence or workplace or contact her on the phone or any other way. I'm going to order that you not go within 500 feet of her residence. Do you understand all of those orders, sir?
Yes, sir.
Preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 11th, but that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date. So if you do end up posting that bond, you need to make sure you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so you know when to get to court. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're excused.
Yes.
Hi, ma'am. Can I get your full name?
Perla Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, I'm seeing you this morning on a charge of aggravated DUI. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. State's recommending a $7,500 bond with pretrial services given the prior DUI history. I'll hear from defense.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Rodriguez is released to pretrial services. Pretrial services identified this as a nonviolent felony. Her last arrest was 16 years ago, and she successfully completed probation 10 years ago. So we're asking that she's released to pretrial services.
I'm going to order a $5,000 bond. It'll be cash or secured, released to pretrial if posted, monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid driver's license. Preliminary hearing date is scheduled for March 11th, but that hearing is very likely not going to happen on that date. You'll get a hearing at a later date. So if you do post that bond, you need to make sure you're in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when to get to court. Do you understand? Yes. All right, yours.
Yes.
Judge, would you reconsider bond, given that she is employed?
No, I think 5,000 is appropriate given the prior history.
Thank you.
Hi, sir. Can I get your full name?
Ronnie Clay Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, I am seeing you this morning because you have a felony warrant for your arrest for charges from July 25th of 2024. Those charges are domestic violence offenses, kidnapping, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 2 counts of misdemeanor assault. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you've got counsel seated next to you for today's hearing. Mr. Goodman, did you have an interim on this that you were able to read, or any information regarding the allegations?
It's a direct indictment, Judge, likely due to him, fleeing the scene or whereabouts unknown, but I can pull up the case right now if you'd like to hear some of the facts.
I know this is from July of last year, and now and he's got no history at all, and the alleged victim is wants to have contact with him and doesn't object to his release from custody.
All right, so the text on this is pretty small, so I'm trying to read kind of what's going on here. So the allegations start out on essentially him having grabbed his wife, Kimberly, held her on the couch for about 30 to 45 minutes, strangled her with one hand at least 3 times. He struck her up to 5 times in the face. She was trying to run away to another room, caught up, grabbed her by the hair. It seems like it's kind of a repetitive type of incident that I just referenced, with the same set of facts of doing it again, of holding her down and things of that nature. I'm trying to look down more at the ending part of the facts. That's essentially what the case is about. It was a long, ongoing, barely violent incident, and I'd imagine that's why a direct indictment had to be done. Okay. Judge, that direct indictments are either whereabouts unknown, depending on someone's custody status, things of that nature.
All right, thank you. Ms. Haggerty?
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Stewart's released to pretrial services. As you pointed out, he has no criminal history at 58. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He was never previously arrested on this matter. This is from last summer. He has had no police contact since then. Additionally, Judge, he is disabled. So given all that information, we're asking that he's released to pretrial services in just order to keep in touch with his attorney so that he can go to court when needed. Especially considering that at 58, there's no other and no police contact since this incident is alleged to have happened.
Excuse me.
Yes, Ms. Stewart. Thank you. What would you like me to know?
So Bonnie and I were married for 30 years. And so what happened that day was uncharacteristic. During that time, he was under a lot of duress, a lot of stressful time for him. He was having a lot of health issues. He has a long-term, long haulers COVID. So he has a lot of things going on with him physically. He abruptly had to quit his job because of his failing health. He was now granted disability. And ever since I got the order of protection with communication, we have been amicable and in communication without any incidences at all.
So the order of protection allows for like telephonic communication, but no in-person contact?
Yes.
Okay. And you two are living separately, obviously?
Yes, we're divorced now, but we are in contact, and we are getting along and in contact with each other, but not physically into each other.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for being here and for providing your input. So I am going to order, sir, that you be released to pretrial services supervision. I'm ordering monitoring or treatment as directed by them. No acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. And I'm just going to order that you continue to abide by the order of protection that's in place in terms of whatever that says that you're allowed to have contact with Ms. Stewart. You understand that?
Yes.
All right. And then you have an arraignment scheduled for next week. It's this coming Friday in Superior Court at 1:30 in the afternoon. You need to be at that hearing or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all. You're excused. And thanks, Ms. Stewart. All right. I think that'll do it for us today. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. We don't have any interpreter matters, right? Okay. All right, this is a time set on the record. Yes. It's a time set for the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar. I'm going to call you in individually. You'll state your name and date of birth. I will tell you what you've been booked on and whether an attorney has been appointed to represent you. I'm also going to give you the date of your next court appearance. I will let you know whether you're eligible for a bond or not. If it's a secured bond, that means you can go through a bonding company. Phone numbers for the various bonding companies are located in the jail area. You can call any one of them. They will accept collect calls. If it's a cash bond, then you have to pay the entire amount of the bond. I'm also going to tell you if I've set any release conditions, like no contact with the alleged victim or no going back to the alleged scene of the crime. You need to follow each and every condition if you want to remain released. Let me remind you, if you've been ordered by a court not to have contact with a victim and then you do so, you may be charged with an additional felony. Let me remind you too, when you're in the courtroom, this is all being video recorded. So do not talk about the facts of your case, as you have the right to remain silent. As you leave the courtroom, the court staff's going to give you your paperwork. That's going to show you your charges, whether an attorney has been appointed for you, where, when, and what time your next court date is, whether you're eligible for a bond or not, and then it'll have a list of all your release conditions. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether you're eligible for a bond. That decision is based on your past criminal history, any failures to appear, your current charges, and Arizona law. It is not based on personal information, so don't go into that. And finally, for the record, the orders for 10 fingerprinting and the taking of DNA samples that were made on the 0200-hour calendar or the 0500 calendar for the first calendar of this month, March 1st, 2025, shall apply to this initial appearance calendar as well. Okay. I see a problem. Okay, can I have Jason Rooks come on in? Lacey Campo to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
My name is Jason Rooks, 43079.
Okay, you've got a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession for sale of dangerous drugs, Class 2 felony, one count of possession of dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, one count of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, Class 1 misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, March 6th at 8:30. I'm also setting an evidentiary hearing for March 7th at 1:30. Can you reprint this again? I knew there was something that... Now, Arizona has a criminal rule of procedure. And it's 4.2 A7A. And what that says is if you're out on release on felony charges and you commit, allegedly, new felony charges, you cannot bond out. You're non-bailable. But you do get to challenge that. That's going to be with your attorney's assistant at that evidentiary hearing. And that is set for March the 7th at 1:30. Okay?
No, that's not okay.
Pardon?
That is not okay, ma'am.
Well, that's the law in Arizona.
I'm not out on anything, ma'am. My sentence is on the 3rd. I haven't been sentenced. I'm not on probation. I'm not on parole. I'm not on anything.
It doesn't matter. You're out on release.
I'm not on release. I've never had a problem with drugs.
Okay, you did a plea agreement on some charges on February the 5th, and you have a sentencing coming up.
Correct. So I have.
That's out on release for Arizona law.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
If I'm out on release, that's when I sign my plea agreement, and that's when they release me to my probation and whatever else I was doing for that.
Okay, well, according to Arizona law, you fall under this and you're going to be held non-bailable. You can talk to your attorney, but you're going to be held non-bailable at least till that next hearing.
And I have to.
Well, you're not going to be released. You can't be released. This is not up to me. This is the Arizona law. I have to follow it.
It is up to you, but I've never had a problem with drugs.
It doesn't matter, sir.
I'm not guilty of this.
Okay, well, you need to get your paperwork and talk with your lawyer.
Well, good. Let me talk to her today. I mean,
sir, you're going to be held non-bailable. Get your paperwork. Lacey Campa, come on in. Latoya Marsh to the chair outside the courtroom. All right, state your name and date of birth.
Lacey Campa, 8/26/92.
Okay, you have two matters. The first one is a Superior Court new case alleging one count of possession of narcotic drug, class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference, March 6th at 8:30. Set a $900 bond on this. Now, the second matter is a probation violation. You're on probation for a class 6 felony. Probation is alleging you violated term 3, 5, and 15. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment, possible disposition, March 7th at 8:30. Pursuant to Arizona Criminal Rule of Procedure 7.2C, you'll be held non-bailable. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Latoya Marsh, come on in, and Justin Thompson to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
My name is Latoya Marsh, 8/26/81.
Okay, you have two matters. The first one is a failure to appear warrant for one kind of possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, one kind of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. You already have a court-appointed lawyer. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference, March 5th at 8:30, and pursuant to Arizona Criminal Rule of Procedure 7.2, since you missed your sentencing, you're going to be held non-bondable. The next one is another failure to appear for sentencing, and this is for one kind of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. You already have a court-appointed lawyer. Your next hearing will be a status conference, March 5th at 8:30. And again, you'll be held non-bailable pursuant to Arizona Criminal Rule of Procedure 7.2 because you missed your sentencing. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Justin Thompson, come on in. And Trinae King to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Justin Thompson, 11/26/1998.
All right, the first matter that you have is from Surprise Municipal Court. It's a warrant for one kind of threats, one kind of harassment by communication, and one kind of unlawfully knowing communicating a threat, all class 1 misdemeanors. You'll have a lawyer appointed for you at your next hearing, which will be an arraignment, March 11th at 1:30. And they had asked for a bond of $50, and that's what I set. Now, the second matter that you have is a Superior Court new case alleging 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, all Class 3 felonies. 1 count of discharging a firearm in the city limits, Class 6 felony. 5 counts of disorderly conduct with a weapon, Class 6 felony, and 5 counts of endangerment, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, March 6th at 8:30. I set a $500,000 bond. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Trinae King, come on in. Isaac Ortega to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Trinae King, 9/10/82.
Say it louder.
Trinae King, 1982.
82?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is a Superior Court new case alleging 1 count of conspiracy to commit arson of an occupied structure, Class 2 felony. 2 counts of conspiracy to commit criminal damage, Class 4 felony. 18 counts of conspiracy to commit criminal damage or defacing, Class 4 felony, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit arson of a structure or property, Class 4 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference, March 6th at 8:30. I've set a $200,000 bond.
Can I?
Yeah.
Question. Is there a way, I just was in a coma for 2 months and I didn't even know about this case. I volunteered and came down myself and spoke with that lady. I've been cooperating. I take heavy heart medication and stuff. Is there a way I can get a bracelet and a lower bond? I just had a new baby and everything.
No, not with these kind of charges. You have very high felony charges.
Assumptionally, very high charges.
You've got a lot of charges and a lot of them carry very lengthy prison terms. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Isaac Ortega, come on in.
So is that cash only or?
Cash.
200,000. And when's my next court date?
Your next court date is March 6th.
And I can't see nobody or discuss my medication. I haven't had nothing.
Oh, you should talk to the court staff for sure about your medication.
And so pre-trial is not an option either, a bracelet or nothing? So why would they screen me for it and tell me that I can get an option for it if that wasn't true?
Why would what?
Why would they screen me for it and send me to pre-trial like these
pre-trial
are alleged?
Services does a lot more than just do supervision. They run your priors. They give us information
I haven't been
about
in trouble in years, though.
They give us information about your financial status to see if you're eligible for a lawyer, which I did appoint for you. You also have 5 failure to appear for court and 4 prior felonies, and you have very serious charges.
I have failure to appear. I'm always at court. They always.
Okay, well, that's not the information that I have.
What court would that be? I've always showed up to all my court dates. I do everything they ask me to do. How could I not show up? I've never had no failure to appear.
Well, according to the information that has been provided, you had a failure to appear just recently on a case from 2012. That's a failure to appear. You've got another bunch of them from Phoenix.
You mean like historical over 10 years?
Yeah, older failures to appear.
But do you see that I've been good ever since? I haven't gotten in trouble. These are
Ma'am, I'm
alleged-
not gonna argue with
these are
you about this.
allegedly
You have
crimes.
very serious charges. You've got failures to appear and you have priors.
They're old, like almost 13 years old. And the victims are all living at my house.
Okay.
So how dangerous could I be to this situation right here?
Ma'am, you've got class 2 felonies, which is the highest,
But they're
second
allegedly.
highest. I know.
Allegedly.
But you're going to have this bond. You need to step out and I need to take the next person.
So am I gonna be able to, my lawyer gonna come see me on the 6th or something and we can speak about release conditions then? Or?
Yeah, you can talk with your lawyer about filing something in court. Okay, Isaac Ortega, come on in. State your name and date of birth.
Hello, Your Honor. 10/28/2006, Isaac Ortega.
All right, you've got a grand jury warrant, which means the grand jurors met, they heard testimony, they found probable cause on one count of conspiracy, one count of transportation or sale of narcotic drug, one count of possession for sale of narcotic drug, one count of possession for sale of dangerous drugs. Those are all class 2 felonies. One count of illegal control of an enterprise, one count of money laundering. Those are class 3 felonies. And one count of possession for sale of marijuana, class 4 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be in arraignment March 7th at 8:30. The grand jury judge set your bond at $10,000 cash. Get your paperwork from the court staff.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good one.
Willie Parker, come on in. Jorge Pineda to the chair outside the courtroom. Right behind the podium, sir. State your name and date of birth.
Willie Parker, 7955.
Okay, you've got a Superior Court new case alleging one kind of aggravated DUI without an interlock device, class 4 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be a status conference March 6th at 8:30, and I've set a $5,000 bond. Get your paperwork from the court staff.
Excuse me, John. I have an interlocking device in my vehicle already.
Okay, according to the police officer, when you were stopped yesterday and you were arrested for a new DUI, you did not have an interlock device.
I do have one with quick start interlock.
Okay, well, I can't argue about the facts of your case. You're going to talk to your attorney. But according to the affidavit from the police officer, you did not have an interlock device in the vehicle you were driving.
Okay, you said
I'm going to urge you not to talk about the facts of your case.
Okay.
Because this is being recorded.
Okay, you said I have a bond?
Yep.
How much?
$5,000.
$5,000.
Yep, you have 5 failures to appear and 11 prior felonies. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Mr. Pineda, come on in. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Jorge Pineda, September 7, 1984.
Okay, you have 2 matters. They're both probation violations. One is for a class 6 felony. Second one is for a class 4 felony. Probation is alleging you violated term 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer on each of these to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, March 7th at 8:30. I've set a $2,500 bond on each. You can go through a bonding company or not cash. If you post the bonds, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
I won't be posting them.
Okay, get your paperwork from the court staff.
All right.
Torian Lee, come on in. And Tylen Hamlin to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
09/21/05,
swearing in.
Okay, you have a Pima County Superior Court warrant alleging 2 counts of theft, Class 3 felony, and 2 counts of shoplifting, Class 5 felony. Now, I can't appoint you an attorney here. If you're eligible in Pima County, they'll have to appoint you one in Pima County. Your next hearing will be a status conference, March 7th at 1:30. The judge there set your bond at $1,500.
I got a question.
Yeah.
We just paid our bond. Like, I just got out. I don't even understand how I have a warrant. And if I was out on the 18th, I got out on the 18th.
You got out from where?
Here.
Well, let me tell you that this warrant was issued in Pima County on February 18th, 2025.
Yeah, I talked about my lawyer didn't even, I called my lawyer and everything, he didn't know.
Your lawyer might not have known. It might not have gotten into the system, but it's there now. These allegedly occurred January 10th of this year. They're new charges. Get your paperwork from the court staff. Tylen Hamlin, come on in. Sydney Salerno to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Tyler Hamlin, 10/25/05.
Okay, you also have warrants from Pima County Superior Court for 2 counts of theft, Class 3 felony, 2 counts of shoplifting, Class 5 felony. You will have a lawyer appointed for you at your next hearing if you're eligible in Pima County. Your next hearing will be a status conference, March 7th at 1:30, and the judge there set your bond at $1,500. Get your paperwork from the court staff.
I just have one question. Is the bonds cash?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sydney Salerno, come on in. And Silkwan Brooks to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Sydney Salerno, 4/5/1994.
All right, you have 3 matters that are all probation violations. You're on probation for 3 Class 4 felonies. Probation is alleging you violated term 3 and 5 on each of these.
Yeah.
I've appointed a lawyer to represent you.
Okay.
Your next hearing will be an arraignment, possible disposition, March 7th at 8:30.
Okay.
I've set a $500 bond on each. If you post these 3 bonds, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
Okay, so that would be 1,500? Okay.
Not cash.
Okay.
All right, get your paperwork from the court staff. Mr. Brooks, come on in. Christy Bolduccia to the chair outside the courtroom. Sir, state your name and date of birth.
Silkwan Brooks, July 29th, 1997.
All right, the first matter that you have is from Peoria Municipal Court for 1 count of disorderly conduct, Class 1 misdemeanor. You'll have a lawyer. I think this is a failure to pay. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's post. They had asked for a bond of $250. I'm reducing it to $100. You'll have a lawyer appointed for you at your next hearing, which will be March 4th at 9 a.m. Now, the second matter that you have is another municipal court warrant from Peoria. This is for 1 count of DUI, liquor, drug, or vapors, Class 1 misdemeanor. You'll have a lawyer appointed for you at your next hearing if you're eligible. Your next hearing will be an arraignment March 4th at 9 a.m. They had asked for a bond of $250. I reduced it to $100.
Thank you.
Get your paperwork from the court staff. Christy Balduccia, come on in. Joe Cruz to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Christy Bill Ducia, 10/19/87.
You have a Justice Court warrant from Santan Justice Court for one kind of disorderly conduct, Class 1 misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing will be an arraignment, March 5th at 8:30. They'd asked for a bond of $680. I reduced it to $50. All right?
Okay, thank you.
What?
Yes.
Get your paperwork from the court staff. Joe Cruz, come on in. DeQuantes Davis to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Good morning, my honor. My name is Joe N. Cruz Jr. Date of birth is January 21st, 1996.
Okay, you have a court warrant from Agua Fria Justice Court for failure to pay on one count of driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked. That's a misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment, March 5th at 8:30. They had asked for a bond of $582 cash. I reduced it to $100.
I have a quick question. So if I pay the bond, I could get out, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then that bond will go towards the fine and then go to court.
I know.
And set up a payment plan.
I forgot to pay it this past 2 months. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's all.
All right, get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Devontae, come on in. May Polston to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
DeQuantis Davis, 11/11/86.
You've got a South Mountain Justice Court warrant for one kind of driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked. That's a misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be an arraignment, March 5th at 8:30. They had asked for a bond of $500. I reduced it to $50.
Okay, so can I get my other bond reduced, or is?
Oh, this is the only one in front of me.
Only one in front of you? Okay, thank you.
I don't know if you're in another city, but this is the only one that I have.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, May Polston, come on in. Bertha Leticia, probably butchered that. State your name and date of birth.
May Polston, 12/27/1990.
Okay, you have a Carefree Cave Creek court warrant for one kind of shoplifting, Class 1 misdemeanor. You'll have a lawyer appointed for you at your next hearing, which will be an arraignment, March 11th at 9 a.m. They had asked for a bond of $250. I reduced it to $50. Okay? Get your paperwork from the court staff. Bertha, come on in. Jessica Tarvin to the chair outside the courtroom. State your name and date of birth.
Bertha Leguizamon, 11/14/79.
Okay, you have a Superior Court new case alleging one kind of criminal damage, Class 6 felony, and one kind of assault, Class 1 misdemeanor. Based on your financial affidavit, I could not find that you're indigent. So either you can hire your own attorney or give more information to the next judge about your finances. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference, March 17th at 8:30. I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You cannot return to the alleged scene of the crime. No contact with the alleged victim. If you look at the bottom of your paperwork, you're going to be allowed to go to the residence one time while you're accompanied by law enforcement. They will let you get your personal belongings. Got it? Get your paperwork from the court staff. Jessica, come on in. State your name and date of birth.
Jessica Tarvin, 3/26/1995.
You have a Superior Court new case alleging one kind of theft, Class 6 felony. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Next hearing is going to be a status conference, March 17th at 8:30. I'm going to release you on your own promise to go to court. Don't miss court. Did you see all the people that have a failure to appear? and then they get a bond, and then they get mad at me.
Yes, I understand.
All right, get your paperwork.
Thank you.
We got it clear? And why is Richard Mortellaro a house call? Yeah. You got it clear. Yeah, do you know why Mr. Montellaro is a house call? Pardon? Bizarre behavior, okay. Richard James Mortellaro, date of birth is 9/3 of 73. He's got a failure to appear warrant for one kind of possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, one kind of possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. He already has a court-appointed lawyer. His next hearing will be a status conference, March 6th at 8:30. I've set a cash bond of $500. Mr. Dickey? Come on in. Okay. State your name and date of birth.
My name's Dale Allen Dickey, 8/7/1966, ma'am.
Okay, you've got a Superior Court arrest warrant alleging one kind of possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony, and one kind of indecent exposure, class 1 misdemeanor. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be a status conference, March 6th at 8:30. I've set up $500 cash bond. Well, that's the judge who signed the warrant.
Okay,
Set it at $500 cash.
okay.
All right, get your paperwork from the court staff.
What does cash mean? I can't use a poker vendor, or, I mean, a bail bond for what cash means, or what does cash bond mean? What does that mean?
Cash, you have to pay the whole
So
amount.
it can't be like a car or something like that.
Correct.
Well,
$500.
how much meth, did it say how much meth was there, or a dangerous drug? Did it say?
No, because this is a warrant, so a different judge found probable cause.
Okay.
Okay?
$500 bond? Thank you.
Yep. Okay.